Welcome to Gas Station Cappuccino, sponsored by Caffeine and Kilo's Coffee of the Month.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Affirmative Ghost Rider.
I think that thing should be pointed up at you. I know.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't really.
Ooh,
it doesn't have really good surround sound. It's
No,
like
you gotta go
directional.
straight into it.
Yeah,
Straight into it.
we gotta get those one mics, the ones with on the swivel.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, they're all show. The mics are probably a little better than these.
Probably.
These will do.
Yeah. What'd you tell me about Ghost Rider earlier? Supreme?
Supreme did a Ghost Rider shirt, like comic collab this week.
It's so funny because how we just our latest coffee blend is Ghost Rider. Not a collab with the. It's just a name for the blend of coffee.
Yeah,
But it is funny that the same week.
same week. Yeah, technically. That kind of last. Did we launch it this week?
First.
Last week. That's right. Yeah, this week. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider week.
Ghost Rider is a medium roast with flavor notes of rich flavor notes of chocolate and caramel.
And a hint of fruitiness.
A hint of fruit.
Touch of fruit.
Touch of fruit.
Yeah, I haven't had the Ghost Rider in a while. It's been like probably since we did when we were just drinking it before we got the full bags in. I just haven't made the time to make a new one yet.
Yesterday I had some, but I did the original sample bags from a couple months ago, and we tried them all.
Oh, I thought you meant you used like one of the actual sample packs, like the silver ones. I'm like, I don't get why that would be a problem. Because you seemed like you were like, oh, it's like not as fresh. I'm like, wait, that's brand new.
No, yeah, I used the couple month old, the one from the red bags.
Gotcha. I thought you used like a fucking literal sample pack.
No, this is what we'll do is today. Actually, what we gotta do today is we gotta do the next month. Well, we know next month we should make the one that's gonna be the following.
I don't remember next month's.
Trail mix.
That's right. That's already ready to rock.
Oh, the label's made and everything.
Yeah, that one's ready to go.
So that's gonna be May's. So we should do June and July. Finish out these or however many. We're all ready to go.
We gotta do one at a time though. Remember, we only do one at a time.
Yeah, one a day.
So we don't.
What do you get?
I believe the flavors.
I believe it's referred to as palate fatigue.
Yeah, we don't want any masking. I guess we could always do like a sparkling water or something to cleanse the palate.
Cleanse it. I'd just drink the whole cup. Get the whole mug in.
I was actually, me and Dante were actually at Temple Coffee Roasters the other day, and they were doing a cupping session in the back. Remember that? They were doing a full-on cupping session. These pretentious fuckers out there doing that. But like, it's impossible to not look like a pretentious asshole when you're doing a cupping scenario at a coffee roaster.
No, it's
just part. It's the way you hold your hands.
It's
the way you
slurp.
act like you know what you're talking about.
It's the slurping. It's just like wine. Like seriously, you go to like wine tasting, and it's like, oh, how do you like it? And you're like, well, all right, I'll give my opinion on how I like it. But there's no way around it. You're like, okay, well, I'm just doing this.
I'm doing this.
And
yeah.
I guess the thing is...
It's the way you hold your hands up, and it's this whole thing. Oh, yeah.
Earthy.
Oh, yes, yeah, you're right. This one's just really good.
Oh, earthy. Oh, I didn't get that, but I did get chocolate. Oh, I could... Hold on, let me try again. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Kelsey can't taste for shit. She doesn't even know what's going on right here. You need to fire her.
Dean got a great palate, though. The Roaster Dave tells us every time. He goes, oh, I remember it. Dean, good on this.
I guess I'm just better at guessing than everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. No, like sometimes though, like it's very obvious the flavor qualities it has. Sometimes not so much.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Being able to put a name to it.
Yeah,
what
sure.
It is. Like you might taste something, but like I don't know what to call it or I don't know what to relate it to. Mm-hmm. That's why the trail mix is dope because it, like you drink it and you're like after a few sips, I'm like now I just taste like I'm eating trail mix.
Well,
because you know it's nutty, fruity,
I would probably say,
chocolatey.
Out of all of our blends that we have tasted that I can remember for the coffee of the month, like this one is like the trail mix is going to be like the most like holy shit, like that's exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolt too though.
Yeah, I tasted and I was like this tastes like Thunderbolt.
As far as like I meant like the notes though, the notes like the blueberry.
Oh yeah, you got some blueberry.
You can taste the fruitiness of the berries really heavy in that one. The
Ghost Rider is great. You don't It has slight fruit. When it cools a little bit, you can get the fruit at the end. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, you kind of get the dark caramel and chocolate. But
it's just a solid, flavorful light roast.
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider.
That's what it is, like a light medium.
It's a light, like a nice solid, like great tasting, like nothing like too on the extremes of light and dark.
It doesn't taste like.
Or it's not necessarily dark. It's not dark at all, but
no.
As far as like boldness of flavor,
right? It doesn't taste like it doesn't taste like tobacco, but it also does not taste like a cheese sandwich.
Yes, like that one coffee that was like as light as it gets. I don't remember what that was. Can't remember.
I remember
it was so sharp. It tastes like fermented fruit.
Yeah,
mixed with goat cheese.
It just smells like a cheese sandwich. And then it tasted like a cheese sandwich.
Yeah, the smell was definitely more like it tasted fine, but the smell was like, whoa, this is like
intense.
This is different.
Intense.
Yeah. Who would have known that coffee would be so like broad, or not broad, but like such a big range.
You know what I was thinking about the other day is how and being in fitness, I'm gonna change gears on here. Being in fitness and being especially around CrossFit so much, that we get jaded. I was thinking about what we were talking about last week as far as like the, you know, like if you're not gonna rub it on, if you're not gonna eat it, probably shouldn't rub it on your skin, and how we kind of both like we use natural toothpaste and natural soaps and stuff like that. And it's funny how when it's not like one day you just wake up and that's all you have, all that shit. It's like over time. You know, it's like one at a time. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna start kind of doing this. So then it's time to buy soap, and so you buy the natural soap, and then it's time to buy deodorant, so you like buy a natural deodorant and try it out, and it's time to buy this, you know, and you just kind of, and the next thing you know, it's 3 months later, and you have all this stuff.
The full kit.
It's same thing like nutrition, right? Like a lot of times when people, if you want to fail, just stop doing everything you're doing now and start entirely new habits, right? Like that's so hard to do, and it's hard to stick to, and it's you've been eating lunch at the same fucking fast food place for the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. You know,
Mickey D.
Just changing that is going to change a whole lot of other things in your life, you know? It's like you do one thing at a time. It's like, seriously, it's like, okay, it's like week by week. This week, no more soda. Mm-hmm. And some people, it's a huge shift. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're used to getting a soda with every meal, now all I'm drinking is water and coffee. What, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, okay, do that for a week. And then, okay, did you do it for a week? Is it sustainable? All right, cool. Now, next thing, you want to try to eat some sort of vegetables once a day. Mm-hmm. What? It's like if you're normally eating at Mickey D's for lunch and whatever for dinner.
Well, there's tomato and iceberg lettuce.
Yeah. So, or you say you have to eat one home cooked meal a day. Mm-hmm. Like that. That's a huge change for a lot of people, you know? And so, every day I got to make sure to eat one. And so it's the small steps that lead to sustainability. Or you could do more of a wholesale change, like, all right, I'm not going to have any whatever, like no snack foods or no refined carbs. And anyway, the point of all this is
no quick grab candies.
No quick grab candies. Most people, you know, you talk about what we kind of do or kind of eat. We have our systems in place, kind of put there, or specifically like how at my house, how we do it. It's like we eat dinner, like a home cooked dinner every night, and it doesn't take a ton of time. It's like, nah, man, like broil the chicken thighs. It's gonna take 20 minutes, and like the vegetables could actually just take that same amount. Like it takes 20 minutes.
I actually made a delicious fucking off the hook air fried chicken nuggets with the gluten-free like breadcrumb thingy. Oh my god, they were good. So I took those crumbs.
I should get an air fryer from fucking Broken Costco. I bet they got them there.
That's where Kristen got hers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought I had an idea.
So what I did though is I took the like store-bought crumb things, which don't have much flavor. Mm-hmm. I just bought chicken strips and then I cut them into like smaller pieces, cubes, and then I took the crumbs and then I poured them in a bowl. You know, took one egg and then whisked it till it was like nice and mixed up good, and then I would dip the chicken in the egg, and then I forgot. So the crumbs I mixed with garlic powder,
seasoning,
garlic powder, pepper. I went garlic powder, pepper, the crumbs themselves, and then I added a little Himalayan salt, and then chili powder.
Okay.
And I mixed it all up nice and good, and then I would roll the chicken into there, and then I had about 40 little pieces of chicken balls.
Air fry them.
Put them in the air fryer, fucking 10 minutes. Come right out. There you got chicken nuggets, and they're off the hook.
And it's like real chicken.
Real chicken, yeah, real chicken breast. obviously if you're like, even if you're on low carb, it's not that many carbs. It's not that much
No.
breading.
And, well, what you do too is instead of the breading, you do all the seasonings and put in like an almond flour.
Yeah, you definitely do the almond flour. I have almond flour too, but I wanted more crunch because these little crumb things, they're gluten free though. If you are doing it for the anti-inflammatory thing, or just kind of gut health stuff. But like it's got a really good crunch, and they were fucking so good. And it was 10 minutes. My point was it took 10 minutes. And while you're doing that, I also had a spinach soap for that. Then I did spinach salad.
Yeah.
With just spinach, balsamic, and light oil.
Some grape tomatoes.
A little bit of, no, I didn't do any tomatoes, but I did do a couple cracks of fresh pepper.
Yeah.
And there you go.
There it is. Simple.
Simple dinner.
And so that's all the time.
And it was delicious.
And so another thing kind of like that too, like you go with the meals or the skincare stuff, is just fitness stuff in general. So what made me realize this, the other day this guy walks in my gym and he's been going to us for about a year now. He went a while ago and then he stopped for like 2 years. He went a while ago, lost some weight, maybe 40 pounds or something. He's a big guy, real big. Stopped, year or two later, hits us up like, hey, and I'm like, dude, get your ass back in here. Like, you were doing great when you were in, whatever. Okay, I'm coming back. He's been back a year now, lost 80 pounds. And, he looks great, lost 80 pounds. That's significant. But you're just so jaded from being in CrossFit and like being in a CrossFit gym for the last 12 years every single day. Mm-hmm. It's like you just don't, it almost isn't special anymore. But that's what's crazy about it. It's like, oh yeah, Robbie lost 80 pounds, but that guy Nico, he lost 100 in a year, Mm-hmm. And it's like in the last year, we had one guy lose 100 pounds and one guy lose 80 pounds. And it's, you're almost like, don't appreciate it as much as you should. Like, that is a massive fucking undertaking.
Right. Even to lose 15 to 20 pounds is a big deal.
Oh, you kidding me?
Let alone, talking five times that.
Go start asking people who would like to lose 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. How many hands do you think you're going to see up walking a crowd?
In a room of 10 people, pounds? Probably 7.
Yeah. And so and then go, hey, who in here thinks that you have the, like, mental capacity and discipline to lose 100 pounds? Like, fuck, like, maybe 1 out of 10 would even, like, have the balls to say they think they could,
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just like,
it's like a huge number.
It's the idea of just being, just jaded from being in fitness and see it, like, once a year we have someone lose 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, you want to get even worse, then probably half a dozen people to a dozen lose, like, 60, which is a huge fucking number. But again, it's like, oh yeah, we people lose 60 pounds all the time. But then the real catch is every single person that joins has got any fat on them, loses 20 to 40 pounds. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just normal.
The committed people.
If you join and you show up, mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. You just got to join, show up, and 6 months later, you're going to be down 20 to 40 pounds. Mm-hmm. But the catch of all this, or why I'm even like bringing this up, it's not that it's like Excel is so special. That's at every CrossFit gym, most CrossFit gyms around the world.
Most gyms that actually like
that care and do a good job and want to help people.
Yeah, there's no point of even bringing up gyms that don't.
Right, and so it's just talk about just being not in touch with reality, kind of, or a little bit jaded by it. Anyway, I had a moment like a week ago. I'm going, 80. That's actually a lot. And then I thought about, I was like, Nico just lost 100. And then it brought me around. And then I was in class like a couple days later, and I'm looking around the room, and I'm going like, that person's lost about 30 since they started. That person's down about 20. That guy didn't have a lot to lose. He's probably down about 25 though. That lady's lost about 40 pounds. And it's like everybody in the room has lost 20 to 40 pounds since they started.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And you don't get that.
But CrossFit's bad for people. You get hurt.
Yeah, we get hurt when you have a bad coach.
Well, what's bad for you is fucking diabetes is bad for you. Like, heart disease is bad for you.
Yeah, you might have went a little too hard on that workout and you're on those deadlifts and your back's sore for a couple of days. But guess what? Like, you're not shooting insulin in your ass fucking 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't have to check. You don't have to ramp up the insulin pump before eating that chocolate cake.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's just wild, man. Like, you take for granted, being in fitness or being so involved with it. And like, I look at people and people are like, well, do you think I can do it? And I'm like, yeah. And it's maybe I'm not as convincing as I should be sometimes. I'm like, yeah, but it's because I don't feel like I need to be. Like, I'm just so confident. Like, yeah, I do think you can because I've seen it done hundreds of times. Like, not like I've seen it, like I've personally with my eyes. Like, I've physically seen hundreds of people do it.
Yeah, no,
You
for
know?
sure. And I think that's something you don't really get with all aspects of fitness, for sure. Like, you're not getting that at a global gym
No.
situation. You know, people
No.
are going in there, they don't know what to do. You know, you're walking around doing tricep extensions, thinking that, like, you're going to lose weight, and hitting, like, the crunchy machine, thinking that it's going to trim your belly. You know, it's just like, that's just not how it works. And, and I think also come back what you were saying, like, we take it for granted that we just assume everybody knows what to do and what and how to change, but like you don't know. Not everybody's following all these fitness people on Instagram to get ideas on what to do at the gym. People are just showing up and they're just like looking around at other sheep doing the wrong thing. And
Well, it's like this guy's in, and we just started this transformation challenge, right? The guys get just a little extra motivation, a little extra accountability to kind of tighten things up. And so a guy goes, he's like,
summer's coming up.
I just don't even know what to do. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know what to eat. I was like, well, George, eat food. He was like, well, no, it's like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do I eat for breakfast? It's like eggs, a piece of fruit, some bacon, fucking chicken. You're overthinking it, man. Like,
A bowl of oats, maybe like a little bit of fruit.
Yeah, I was
Something.
like, yeah, go buy plain yogurt and put some blueberries in it.
Yeah.
Buy some Greek yogurt and put some blueberries,
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, dude, honestly, like 2 eggs and 3 strips of bacon. Like, there you go. And an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's your breakfast. He's like, oh, serious? I'm like, yeah. Well, what else? I'm like, well, what's your favorite kind of meat? It's like chicken.
And that doesn't mean a breakfast sandwich from McDonald's with those ingredients.
It's not like at home.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like some people, like, that's the thing. Like, some people, like, here's an example. Like, this shit, like, kind of triggered me, right? So me and Kelsey are at one of our little coffee shops we like to go to on the weekends. And right next door is this place called, like, that doesn't matter the name, Boxing Gym, right?
Got it.
It's, like, I think it's independently owned little, like, kind of boxing studio fitness thing, right?
Got it.
35-minute, 40-minute boxing class, whatever. So, no, it's not like a boxing gym where professionals are fighting. Anyways, and we're sitting there eating.
It's a fitness gym that uses boxing as their fitness.
Correct. So we're sitting there eating, right, and drinking our coffee just outside on the porch or whatever. And here comes these young ladies, and they're that you can tell that they're trying this out or they're new on their like journey to fitness, right? Mm-hmm. And what's the first thing they do? They come walking. It's right next door, so they come walking over, covered in sweat. They just probably had a great workout, probably burned a lot of calories.
Oh God, I see.
So here's where this goes. Like, they get in line, they order a couple fucking breakfast burritos, and I know the breakfast burritos there are fucking amazing.
Oh, I'm sure they're great.
Because they're full of shit. They're full of cheese.
Yeah.
They're full of thick tortilla. They're full of beans, which are beans.
But the point, it's 1,000 calories.
It's a 1,000-calorie breakfast.
Maybe 700.
Yeah, and
It's half of their daily intake.
And then on top of it, they're getting large coffees
With a bunch of sugar and milk in them.
with all the shit in
Like
it.
lattes.
Yep, they're getting all this right after doing their Saturday morning workout, and they were not in the best of shape, but you can tell that they're trying to change. They're working hard, but I think there's just a lack of knowledge.
They just had no idea.
They had no idea. They're thinking like, oh, this has got eggs in it.
It's got eggs in it.
It's got beans. There's no meat in it, so it's kind of like maybe there's not like they just think like a lot of people think that vegetarian stuff isn't bad for you.
It was better, yeah.
Or it's better for you or whatever, but like it's not always the case. You can like get huge just eating vegetarian food.
Yeah.
Very easily. But so yeah, and I'm sitting there talking to Kelsey. I'm like, and I mentioned it to her like when we were like alone. I'm like, man, it's just kind of frustrating watching somebody just like finish like really busting their ass, like getting their like weekend going, doing something good for themselves, and then watching them just throw it all away.
Yeah.
2 minutes later. In 5 minutes, you just wasted an entire hour of what you just did.
Yeah, and like I guess that's the thing is you go.
And also, like, let's not even talk about the caffeine effects post-workout.
Yeah, post-workout. Like that's the smallest. That's the smallest thing wrong they did out of all that. You know what I mean? Like that's, and it's like that's like that last 5% of a thing.
Yeah.
For performance, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like you're right. It's you feel bad a little bit because
No, you did, and that's exactly what it was. I was like, man, like I was like kind of annoyed, but felt bad because I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah.
That's not what you should be. That's not what you should be doing. You should be going home and maybe like making something yourself or doing something. Maybe they just don't know,
I'm sure they don't. You know, I'm not sure.
or they just don't give a shit.
Maybe you know what? Maybe they're just like, fuck it, Luis.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
But it was, it was a big group, and they were probably having fun being out socializing, and like maybe they worked out just so they could eat that. I don't know, but it just seemed like, it just seemed like it was just a misinformation. That just lack of knowledge is why they thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, and
But it also comes with like a side of sour cream.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's a
like
great burrito.
Like I said, it's a 700 calorie thing though. It's probably
it is.
half of what their daily intake should be.
Correct, because you can tell that their goals are probably weight loss to reflect like a summer push, right?
Beach bod.
Like that's what the whole scenario like played out to me. It looked like, it's time to get things right for summer's coming up. Let's try out this like boxing studio thing. Let's let's go work out. We're spending our day off, our Saturday training, working out. Like
Right.
obviously there's goals in mind.
Right.
And it looked like they just didn't realize that they were just totally burning those away, throwing that away. And it was just kind of upsetting because I'm like, man, like you probably work really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's eye-opening for people who have never tracked what they eat. And I'm not saying that you have to track every day. I don't think you do have to track every day necessarily. But what I do think is that anybody whose goal is to lose weight, you should not judgmentally, like with no judgment, just plug into MyFitnessPal, or I use one called Fat Secret, whatever. Get your daily calorie tracking
There's
app.
a free one on any platform you can download. Find it.
And just put in everything you ate with no goals. It's not a goal to hit this or hit that or whatever. Just do it. Just everything that goes in your mouth, food or beverage, anything goes in your mouth, just put it in the app. And just see. And just do that for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And just to see where you're at. Because you have no idea. Like, a lot of people just have no idea how many calories they're actually eating. And at the end of that, you may not even know if that total is good or bad, or you may not know if that carb or but then someone could look at it and be like, oh, so over these 3 days, you average 50 grams of protein a day, 300 grams of carbohydrates a day, and 250 grams, or whatever, 100 grams of fat every day. So, okay, well, these ratios probably aren't ideal for anybody. And so you could, like, look, and it's funny, is like, you don't have to make this situation, you don't make huge changes. So you look at that and go, okay, well, we need to eat more protein, and we probably should eat less carbs based on your activity level and everything. So, looking at these meals over the past 3 days, what do you think you could do here to remove some carbs and add in some protein? Mm-hmm. Oh, for breakfast, I see that you just have toast. Mm-hmm. Right? 2 pieces of toast. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just make a little change there. Why don't, for breakfast, you just have 1 piece of toast and 2 scrambled eggs? Mm-hmm. Oh, I could do that. That's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. Or you go just 1 piece of toast and a cup of low-fat cottage cheese. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like cottage cheese. That makes sense. Right? Like, it's stuff like that. It's not
First off, cottage cheese in cantaloupe, unreal.
What is the...
underrated snack.
Yeah, or yogurt. You go, okay, have some low-fat yogurt. Now I'm saying low-fat. I don't have to be low-fat. I'm just, like, giving an example, whatever. Yeah. And it's, like, small changes where they could be like, oh, no, I could do that. That's easy, right? And so, okay, well, you're going to do that. And then you just find some things throughout their day where they can just make minor changes. And then you make those changes, and then you don't do anything. And then, a week later, okay, hey, how's that going? And it's like, that's the easiest way to do anything. If you just tell someone, all right, here's your... you don't give them any real advice. You just give them like, okay, here's your macros. So you're going to be on 1,600 calories, and we expect, you're going to do 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight per pound, and then you're going to do that equal number of carbs, and the rest in fat. All right. So go ahead. Let's. There you go. I'll see you in a week. Mm-hmm. That person's fucked.
They're fucked.
They have no idea. And like most people don't know the difference between carb and protein. They really just don't know.
Real quick, before we get too far off that exact thing, is like, if you live in Sacramento area, even like
greater.
within an hour each direction of Sacramento. You just need to hit up 5-Star, go see Chris, and get one of his templates from him that he just will give you for like how to and he didn't make this up. It's just information that he makes so easy for people to understand. You'll get a paper with everything on every category and time of day. Pick from this side. Pick one of these things to eat. Pick one of these things to eat at this ounce level. Yeah. And then pick one of these things to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Pick something from these lists. And like you can put them together, make things with it, like, but just make sure you stick to these things. And it's like, that's it. That's it. There's no calories. There's no, all this and that. It's just like if you eat this and you eat this and you eat this, you're going to be good.
Like pick one of these for breakfast, one of these for lunch, one of these for dinner.
And it's a huge list, right? Yeah. And it'll even say like even things for snacks. If you're going to eat a snack, pick from this list of snack list, like, and eat one of these things. Like, the way he has it set up is like it's a joke. Like if anybody can follow this.
Right.
It takes zero effort. Okay, let's see. For I guess for guys and girls, things are going to be differently skewed, right? So it'll have different ounces. It'll be somewhat catered to people like you.
Right.
Right. So it's not like it's just a generic list. It is a generic list, but it's also like it helps you like a little bit more of like with your goals, right? If my goals are to lose weight or to maintain, like it's going to show different ounces for the the proteins and the protein stuff, and it's just the way he does it. I think is more of like a low fat, low carb combo, which is easy for most people, right? For a general audience of people, it's usually something that they can handle. Where it's not on the extreme sides, where it's like high carb, no fat, or the opposite, right? It's just something like for most people can handle.
Yeah.
In a busy, like, regular life. Or whatever, with, like, not crazy goals. Or even with crazy goals, you can do good on. Anyways, what I'm getting at is, swing by there, pick it up.
Send me, go to 5-Star Sack.
Oh, yeah, send him an email. I don't know his email.
I think if you look up 5-Star Sack.
Yeah, look up 5-Star Nutrition.
What's the website? 5-Star Nutrition?
Oh.
I think it's 5-Star Sack.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, it's, people, you don't know what you don't know. And I think that there's a lot of misinformation.
And there's a lot of easy obtainable information out there.
There's a lot of misinformation from what had been taught before, and just what people just don't know. And then there's a lot of great information out there now.
Well, the food pyramid I learned in elementary school is still correct, right? No.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. Well, I mean, it depends on if you agree.
Should I eat a loaf of bread as a base plan of my diet?
Depends on if you agree with General Mills or whoever it was that funded the studies for those.
Wonder Bread?
Yeah.
Food pyramid sponsored by Wonder Bread.
Oh my god.
Eat 4 slices of white bread first thing in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's...
But white bread is good.
It's pretty good.
You know why it's good? Because it's terrible.
Because of sugar. It's just easily digested, easily processed.
What's better than like a PB&J with the crust cut off of like some Wonder Bread?
What do you check
it just like melts in your mouth.
You're talking about Uncrustables.
Yeah, pretty much. But those are awful for you.
Oh yeah.
Look at the preservative list on those things.
Oh yeah.
You'll never eat one ever again. I haven't eaten one since I did that.
Oh man.
Those things are just chemical discs.
I heard they're delicious put in a toaster.
Oh, I bet. You probably even broil them a little bit or something.
It's funny. We actually have them. I give the chemicals to my kids, and because they eat them and there's some protein in them a little bit. Anyway, the point of this though that that's like the worst thing to get all day by far. But I've never eaten one.
Oh, don't. It's a slippery slope because they're amazing.
No, that's why I haven't.
Yeah.
Because we have them all the time. They'll be processed. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it because I have a feeling. I know that they're delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I eat one, I'm going to have another at some point. But if I just keep never eating one, I think I can just keep not eating.
Then there's a guiltless factor to them, too, because they're so small. 2-3 bites, they're gone. But it's just chewy, soft, dissolving, like, deliciousness of peanut butter, jelly, and gooey bread. It's amazing.
You know what actually they give them to, or who gets them, is firemen when they're firefighters, when they're up at like the forest fires, It's like when they have like strike team up at the forest fires, and I sleep on the floor up there for 2 weeks, like doing this thing.
Oh yeah.
They bring them out Uncrustables.
Well, they're not any worse than your generic like
Yeah.
microwavable foods.
Or look, if you go and you buy the cheapest generic peanut butter and the cheap generic jelly,
Yeah.
like that's what it is. It's just
Yeah.
they're made by Smuckers. So if you buy Smuckers peanut butter and Smuckers jelly,
It's built to last a long time on the shelf.
freezer.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
It's not doesn't have much of a shelf life. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, those things are bomb though. So good.
So there you go. Stay away from the Uncrustables. Talk to somebody in fitness who knows what they're talking about and has some accountability for you. And it can
Did you look up his website?
you.
Did you find it?
Yeah. What is it? Chris at 5starwins.com.
5starwins.com. Chris at 5starwins.com. Hit him up. He'll send you food templates.
Do it.
I might do it.
Make the change. Well, it wouldn't work for you.
Well, I'm thinking maybe I'll do it, and then I'll print up a bunch and give them out to my clients, and they can buy their supplements from 5-Star Sack.
But he does do shipping.
I know, that's what I'm saying. 5-Star wins.
It's so funny. Like honestly, like that's a great idea because it's like sometimes I'll just go in there just to get a fresh list if I lost one. He'll like print me one out. It's like you look at it and it's like so obvious, but then it's like, oh man, like this is, and then you kind of forget, and then you look at it again. But it just it makes you like almost like feel like accountable.
Yeah.
To like stick to it. But it's it's so cut and dry and easy. But it's like it's really good for like the snack stuff. Like, oh, I want a snack. Like, what should I eat? Like I always kind of forget. It's like always like that fight you have with like your significant other. Like, what are we eating tonight?
Should we just get an Uncrustable real quick?
Should we just eat a couple, like, 4 or 5 Uncrustables, maybe some White Castles?
5, 6 Uncrustables. You probably could put down 5 or 6 of those. They're so small.
Oh, I could shamelessly, in the moment, eat 4, and then eat a 2-pack of White Castle microwavable cheeseburgers, too. And then feel bad about it later.
Yeah, because it just happened so quick.
It happens so fast.
I don't know what happened.
Or like throwing some pizza rolls in there, too.
Oh,
Pizza pockets. What are they called?
Yeah, pizza pockets.
The little ones?
Oh, I don't know.
What are the little ones?
Oh, yeah, the pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah, pizza rolls. Fire. So good.
They're great.
Scald your mouth.
Oh, you burn your mouth
Tostitos.
every time.
3rd degree.
It's like the Starbucks egg bites. Like guaranteed to burn your mouth.
When I used to get those all the time, by the time I would eat them, they'd be so ice cold.
Yeah.
Because I would just like forget where they were.
Well, you get them and then you bring them here and then you'd like not eat them.
And they would sit there.
I'm the opposite. I like get them. So I get it. The only time I buy egg bites, like I'm hungry, I need something to eat now.
It's a road snack. Too,
So I drive
on the
through,
go.
eat them, and then I take a bite and I go and burn my mouth, and then I just eat the rest of it.
It's the perfect snack for like I gotta grab coffee. I'm on the way to like a meet or I'm on the way to like an event. It's early. I'm gonna grab my coffee. I'm gonna grab some egg bites.
It's driving food. Great driving food. They give me I'm like, what's this fork for?
I know. I throw it away every time. So I stopped. It's funny you said that because I told them to stop giving it to me. When I get there,
they tape it on.
if I do like a to-go order and I pick it up at like the counter, I just take it out and I just leave it on the counter.
Yeah, let someone else throw it away for you.
Well, they'll just put it back. It's in plastic.
I'm kidding. Oh man, today we're gonna be done, but we talked about walking our dog before and their shit. I'm walking my dog today around the block this morning, and he wants to take a shit right on this corner. I'm like, oh, that most people can see here. It's great. And then I'm like looking over, like looking at the house, and all of a sudden I've met the lady that lives there. All of a sudden, like there's someone holding a coffee mug, like looking out the window at
Oh
us.
shit!
And I'm like, I just waved. I'm like, hi. And she just kind of like waved and then turned around and walked away, you know? I'm like, fuck, I got to get it back and pick this up.
Yeah,
I can't, because
so
like,
you actually had to do it.
I
This
don't
time.
think she's going to come out here and look on that corner to like see, like, did that motherfucker pick
Was it
up
on
his
her
dog
corner?
shit? It was on her lawn.
Oh, then yeah, she would have for sure looked.
I don't know, something like me, like later when I'm leaving, would I be like...
She might have like had if she didn't look, is because she forgot to look.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly it. And so I was like, I'm going to go. But the thing is, they're just like, he's a little dog and they're little shits. They're these 2 little teeny turds. But I'm like, you know what? If she comes out here and looks for him and finds him, I'm a real ass.
Yeah.
And so I went back and got a bag and picked it up.
When was this?
This morning.
Do you guys have trash pickup on Thursdays?
No, I wish.
I was gonna say there could have been a trash bag like close by.
You know what I almost did is her neighbor on the next one over. He still gets a newspaper delivered, which is confusing for lots of reasons. But you know, he still gets a newspaper.
People are creatures of habit, man. People love the paper.
And it was in the plastic. I almost just fucking dumped his news.
Oh, you should have done that.
I almost did.
Put it like somewhere where it wouldn't get wet.
I'll just put it right by his door. Well, it was dry.
Thunderstorms today.
It wasn't raining this morning though. I actually thought, I'm like, all right, that thing's totally dry. I just picked that up. I'd even go and like put it on his porch and take the plastic off it, save him the walk out, because it was like the delivery was total shit too. The newspaper, it was like barely on the driveway. It was basically in the sidewalk. So I'm like, maybe I grab that and kind of toss it up on his porch, and then I use this plastic, go pick it up. But I'm looking around. There aren't any garbage cans around anyway. It's not trash pickup day, and our trash pickup day is on like Tuesday, so everyone's put them away by now.
You should have just took the newspaper, scooped the shit with it, and then left it on his porch.
And then put it back in the bag?
With the shit on it.
Yeah, they should have done. And and then
ring his doorbell and hand it to him with the shit on it.
Got some lit it on fire.
No.
Well, here's the catch too. So I see a newspaper. I'm like, I just take a plastic bag off the newspaper. I'm sure homie doesn't really care if I. And then across the street though, this guy's like out there starting his car to warm it up. I'm like, well, now I'm not gonna be like the perfect neighbor, like dog shitting on people's lawn. You're stealing the plastic off the newspaper right in front of the other fucking guy. So I just went home and got a bag.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just can't just bring the bag with you. Huh?
Well, I actually had that on the walk back to my house.
You know, it's clutches the little leashes that have it built in.
I was on the walk back to the house and I said, well, I was talking to my dog, so, well, Taylor, I think it's time that I'm an adult. I think I'm just going to start bringing a fucking bag with you now when we go on a walk. Like, the thing happened that finally put me over the edge.
I saw on...
I finally got pushed over.
I saw on Nextdoor app or whatever on the email that someone was complaining about somebody throwing away their dog shit in their trash can, like on the street. And I'm like, first off, like those things are pretty good with like keeping the smell out.
Yeah, first of all.
And second of all, like it's a trash can.
Yeah.
So weird.
Especially like, was it in a bag? Especially.
No, it was like in a bag. Like who's throwing their dog shit bags in my trash can? This needs to stop.
Oh, next one's going on your porch.
Yeah, and start slinging them out the window.
Yeah, there you go. Instead of bringing a bag, you just bring a highlight stick and just scoop the turds and fling them right out the window.
Or just barehand it.
It's worth it. And then wipe your hand off in their wet grass and the dewy lawn. They're all clean now.
Oh shit!
And go home and eat breakfast.
Go home and eat some fucking Uncrustables.
Yeah.
Full circle.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Oh hey, questions. Email your questions about anything, any topics to podcast@caffeineandkilos.com. Next week we're gonna do Q&A.
All right. There it is.
There we go.